What up, Schmoedown Rockers? Today, I'm Tyler. Schmoedown Rocks, and an interesting week leading up to the essentially. Well, it'll probably still be a Monday. Just before we get to the stuff, we're gonna start off with the matches, and then I'll talk about what seems to be the upcoming singles tournament, or at least some things that aren't happening with it that could be complaints that you probably haven't already heard before. But anyways, before we get to that, okay, you know what? Never mind. I even forgot. I hate when this happens. I had it, and then it's gone. So, yeah. I'll probably remember in the middle of all this. We'll find out later. We're doing live! Do it live! So, we'll just start into the intergame stuff first, and then get to the Star Wars match. Because let's face it, that's the one we want to talk about, actually, the most. Personally, I think. And for me, the Humphrey Barbarian match, Barbarian started to miss a few things, but for the most part, it didn't feel like there was much shift of momentum. But as expected, Barbarian pulled out the win. Humphrey put up enough of a fight, which was nice, but it was clear, even after this match, it was just the pure luck of that match when it came to Janine. So, but it showed that they at least advanced once-ish in the tournament between the two of those players, or at least brought something out of them when it as to show they had potential as Intergita players. Whether or not anyone else will be able to manage them in the way that Koi has is going to be an entirely different story. Or be able to work in any other division outside of maybe Usual Suspects if they ever get drafted again, and if they're ever going to be together as a team. The fact that they even managed to pull out a win, I get, given the circumstances, was yet of pure luck, but it was pure luck in and of itself. And we needed some kind of team since, well, Wildberries broke up, and which now it's less bothersome given what we've been getting lately for competition and with how. But instead of getting the belly aching from Makuga about how he is about that, we get the belly aching from Snyder instead. But we know he can be a good player. It's just he doesn't try as hard as you think he should. But it's whatever. I still think what he says about IG is bullcrap, and if anything, the Star Wars tournament proves something of that, and we'll get to that later. Holy crap! I know, and then the match was fine. I can't really think of much that was, and I'm glad Barbarian did advance. Humphrey put up, and the promos were cut nice too. Shadow Terror, Nerd Chronic for a lot of that. But as far as I'm concerned, the match that really mattered, the match of the Intergita matches that kind of did matter, the Hannah versus Damon match. Hannah, even when you want to, in the deepest, darkest recesses of your heart and mind, want to even remotely, mainly because he decided to do Backstreet Boys Kermit voice BS just to do a live stream for charity. Kind of a thing, you know. Hell, I wanted to do a General's Chat joke with him involving that and Miss Piggy. Didn't work out yet. Probably won't now since I spoiled it. But anyways. Hello, Kumi. But anyways, the match itself and what transpired Apparently, they also did a promo in there, which also wound up on the Facebook. Eventually, they cut it in there so they could make sense for the storyline. Ken got voted in, except probably by Hannah, as it was pretty much obvious given what transpired within going in before the match. And it just made him look stupid. Even more, like, the only thing, and it really did. I mean, aside from how he played, like, if he did probably rely on Ken, hell, honestly, I don't think he would have acted like this with R&B. Because at least R&B shared a certain thing. If he did and they were planning on doing that, even with R&B, I'd still be like, why? Hell, I'd be more like, why? Than still be. But, because it would have not made much sense at all if they had done that. Unless it's clear he has a thing for burning things, had a thing for burning things out. Some you don't see from him, which is why at this point it's going to be turned into probably the Knights of Ken by the time the new season rolls around, because the new era did not really kick off as well as we wanted to because of COVID. But with what we have been given during this COVID time, especially for the Star Wars match. Of all things, to think a virtual style Star Wars match, which I'm jumping ahead, I'm sorry. Look, Hannah, you made the dumbest challenge in the history. They mentioned it. I get your point that you were trying to make, but it was the useless challenge ever. You mostly just clearly did it just to keep your heel thing, but it cost you the match. The fact you didn't even try to give it an answer. It really did. You could have at least tried to give it the proper answer instead of just using it as an excuse to bitch. Now, I know that you wanted this kind of reaction, but honestly, I really didn't. You won't even deserve that. You don't. You don't. I'm sure, I'm Dungeon. I'm mad about how you handled things with Smets. That's on you, by the way. Just as much as that challenge. And I don't want to. I know he's trying to do that, but it does not compute. Does not compute. It just makes him look stupid. It just makes him look stupid. If you had won, of course it'd been a different story. But it was still a tight enough match that you're passable enough that you can still come back to play and we can still hate you for it. But, once again, just like the other matches when it comes down to you on the five-pointer, you fuck up. You fuck up. I don't know you're going to work on it. I really do. But I think that you ruined your chance of getting better, or having a chance that you could have beaten Damon if you had, not burned the bridges you chose to burn. And it's just, I'm just saying, that's what it was. It did not make, and the Ken thing was whatever. I kind of had a feeling that was what was going to happen, given the promo involving Ken anyway. And given how you pretty much already reacted and how you literally screwed him over. As far as I'm concerned, the way the match went, I don't know if that was purposely in storyline for you to do that, but Karma's a bitch. And hopefully you wake your ass up and you try. And I don't even know if anyone's going to want to draft you, though, because of your attitude. So yeah, you're probably not going to play next year. For that reason, but other than that, unless Burning Druids want you back, but I doubt it if the Ken is running it, and by that point I don't think it'll be Burning Druids. It'll probably be Knights of Ken's return, and if that does come back, it'd be nice to see Mark Donica, make some kind of appearance, if he even wants to anymore. I don't know, since he is an original, you know what I mean? Just saying. But yeah. I do want to see how he actually manages with everyone else. as interim manager. I kind of figured it was going to be that way. It kind of sucks I missed the opportunity to see Jay Washington wear that damn robe and with the glove and, pimping it out. It would have been funny. For many reasons. It would have been funny, and he would have pulled it off. Jay would have done it. I don't even know if he wants to even bother to get involved in that regard. And given how Winston himself has been handling stuff, I don't even know if Jay's bothering to help him. I really don't. I mean, he did enough to ease him in, but it's clear Winston knows what the fuck he is doing. And that became pretty... And also, of course, the 5-pointer was a Star Wars. I mean, you could also lean into that, too. And I was kind of mad about that question, too, because, of course, yes, I didn't get it. But, yeah. It just so happened to Cookie... The fact that it wasn't... Neither had perfect round, they tied, and they kept it as neck and neck as it was, and with both having perfect rounds in their round twos. With the Star Trek and the Trek for Hannah and the through Spinner's Choice, and then the other, and then of course Lord of the Rings. Anyone who's seen the exhibition, it's a strength of Damon's. So, that's what it boils down to me. I'm kind of bummed about it. I'm bummed. I was almost wanting to see him at least go far enough to be semifinalist, but now we can only say quarterfinalist. But he did what he needed to do, I guess, in beating Saul to prove that he could last longer and at least have a win under his belt. But now you're 1-1 this season, and your total is like 2-3. Or is it 3? Well, or is it 3-3 at this point, technically? But now you're kind of... And the fact that you haven't even been... means Ken... Well, that whole thing with Ken was... Yeah. You don't... I get you mad you would, but you didn't really do that great a job managing Ken, because Ken got his ass kicked. So that's on you. So, other than that, I'm done dealing with my rant, with my Hannah rant. But anyways. I want to appreciate you for it, but when you make stupid moves like that, I can't. That's still on you. But don't hinder it. Let's have some fun like what happened here. Oh my gosh. The match was neck and neck. Sure, Ace, unfortunately, if it was a 3-rounder, Asa would have been screwed. But this was a 5-round match, and anything could have definitely happened with this one. And boy, did it. The first round was great. First round was, despite like maybe one or two, essentially he just missed. He wound up having a Laura Kelly situation from the match he had, and missing one question, with Damon managing to hit everything and get the bonus, and even he knew the bonus from what the facial expression features were of Ace. So the follow-up, though, the match, he managed to have further rounds in the round 2, so he kept it pretty tight and pretty close the whole time. Even in the round 3 with the betting round, both knew the question, betted 3 points each of them, and it still wound up just 2 down. I'm a little sketchy on the math, since he passed on one, and it seemed like he got them all, and he got more. So maybe he should have had 1 point. I don't know what Gucci did. Like Gucci thought what he did. We're going to keep that in. I don't care. Or I may edit it. I don't know anymore. But yeah. Oh, Ace. I wasn't sure anymore. I was actually going for Ace this time around compared to last time with the Kelly, because of the way he had played with Ken. But third round, he showed up, and once again, he manages to somehow get those 5-pointers. Yet he didn't get the 2-pointer. It seemed like there was a role reversal in terms of those pointers, somehow. Even though it was apparently a tough question, and one that even once again, Damon couldn't get himself. which has me thinking, like everybody else, the fact he's saying this stuff, and yet Roxy, who's willing to bitch at my boy Smets, but won't bitch about his boy saying shit like that. Funny how that is. Other than that, and I do say that with love, Roxy. Oh, and happy birthday as of the point of this recording. I mean, see, not all of us in the dungeon you think are assholes. Some of us can be some nice dudes. Zip technically is. And I can't wait to see his match, too. And at this point, I do respect my dungeon boys. Am I a little leery more so for Zipper? Yes, but if he's still pull some Z1000 on us and actually does way more than what Greg Alba did in his match against Kalinowski, I'm happy with that. And I do expect Chance to be one hell of a fight against them to the point of being even better than what... Hell, of course that IG fight's going to be better than the IG fight between him and Oyama, but I'm expecting this match to already be on the level that him and Oyama had in the singles match last year. That's for sure. Even though it sounded like from what everyone was saying that Zipper spoiled something in that, and I hope that isn't the case, because if that's the case, and we're gonna leave it at that. Yeah. But then, of course, it gets to that. He missed the two, and then the fourth round is, I love the new fourth round. It's essentially fast money. But instead of 5 questions, and it's the same team thing, it's your opponents each answering the same question, and they do the pass thing, all that stuff. I don't know if they keep going back to it or not, or if they just said screw it and don't. That's the only other thing. That aside, I loved what we got. It was amazing. And it was amazing they each answered each question, and they don't know what the answers are until they get it. Or at least when they do, I mean, the way the questioning is done and how they do it is very similar with each opponent, and I like that better. It's easier. I feel like it's an even easier fourth round than the original buzzer round. And the fact they're giving the champ's choice option to choose it, doing it that way, speed round that way, or the buzzer way, is also a nice thing as well. And it just does make the fourth round more, and I feel like they should probably do the fourth round this way because it'll be so much easier. Other than that, and they came pretty close, and Gucci had said something with that, and I think he missed a chance to say something about a certain question in the round 1 or round 2 when he should have said something. But on Winston's chance with the challenge, so because they already had gone through that kind of thing beforehand and they weren't going to do it again. Because that was too much Challenge City in that Laura Kelly match. I tell you what. And then Ace, of course, manages to hit the 5, at least forcing him to do what he needed to do, and force him to answer the rest of his questions. That's all he had to do. He missed his 2, but got his 3, getting out TKO range and forcing him to answer his 2, and then forcing Ace to answer his 5. Ace getting the 5, forcing him to answer the rest of his questions. He does get the 3, making it a tight enough game. But if he had gotten the 5-rounder, and it's poor Demolanta, you could tell on his face. But the thing is, they had fun, and he realized, okay, Renee, just have fun with it, man. You know, and he just let them chill the fuck out. I mean, that's the thing that I feel like Winston set a groundwork for. Have fun with the matches, and some people do forget about that, and it seems Gucci sometimes tends to do that as well. About this game, and it seems to have paid off in that way. And I do feel even worse for Demolanta because he's really workhorsed himself because he got tired of the losses he had, and he had the 2-run win he needed to have here in the tournament, and then winds up getting another loss. But this time, because he's 2-1 in the tournament, he can now still have a shot at the title again, and he doesn't have to go through the grind that it seems Laura Kelly's probably going to have to do, which will have to be 2 matches a match, a number one contenders match, a regular match, a number one contenders match, and what so on and so forth. He's going to get an automatic number one contenders match, I guess, if not a title shot. So because of what happened, so it's still wound up a win-win in this case for everybody involved in some way, shape, or form. Except for the points part. That's where it's for the though it seems that may not have mattered anyway because of where Barbarian has been at in the Inner Geekdom tournament and where things may seem to go coming into the singles tournament. Which with that, no Goddard was not the greatest choice, but I understand he needed to get some people to play a little bit more. I totally get Paul Preston. I totally. I'm not. And there was a lot of the other ones. The ones that do matter is who is with the singles matches. Basically, Jen Kemp, if Ethan doesn't get the title. If Ethan will get in, but if he gets the title, it'll be Jen Kemp on the Usual Suspect side. And it seems that all the big boys, are, aside from Bateman, who still has a title number one contender shot in the bag, so he doesn't need to go in the tournament to have go on a tournament run this time around, I guess. And then it's just whoever wins between Ethan and them, and I guess Ethan and Roca will go on to face them, and then whoever loses is probably going to wind up going into the tournament automatically. And then Dan will probably join if he loses, and that would mean that it's basically Mark Riley, Barbarian, I believe, Roca and them, and I do like what Dungeon is doing, and he decided to get Gallows to go in. I'm glad he's got the Ghost in there, so we can finally see what he does. And then getting Video Drew in, getting the Video Drew Tom would be interesting to see, especially given what they set up for storyline, which still breaks my heart. I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is having Sabrina finally get a chance, Ramirez that is, because there's Sabrina Graves is also involved in this. So Ramirez is gonna get in, and but that all depends on how the match goes, and if Ethan does pull a win against Dan for the singles belt. That's all it depends on. Other than that, it doesn't. That's funny, and I'm at this point. It just basically means we're gonna wind up possibly getting a Roca and Merle match finally again, which would be kind of cool. And it'll have to go into that in order to at least have Sabine, which means no matter what, the titles once again, Stock Exchange has a lock again. But also a good lock is Sabrina Graves is going to be able to go for the title. So just really, Roken probably does need a win to redeem himself against Ethan, and then him finally getting a chance to beat Dan just so he can not only be a 3-10 champ, but finally get a chance to defend. Hopefully he can at the next Spectacular, however they're going to do it. I'd love to go do a live thing, but again, I'd have to travel all the way to freaking California to do it. I was hoping to just have Chicago and be fine with it, I guess, and then just watch it like everybody else who has Patreon. I can live with that. So, but other than that, I mean, it's a maybe for me. Don't worry about it. C-Dub, I'll eventually figure something out. Who knows? But it's stupid for me to get tickets and they cancel on me. So I'll wait until I know for sure that this whole thing is bowled over. But other than that, what did you guys think of the matches? What did you think of who's going to be in the singles tournament? I barely brushed up on it. And the finals match, which was awesome. Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking in the Schmoedown. If you smell what the movie trivia Schmoedown, Skype Entertainment, and Schmoedown Rocks is cooking. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.